Hi, everyone, and welcome to the special summer episode of Dine Around Downtown Cooking at Home Edition. This will be the 14th Lower Manhattan restaurant that we featured through our Cooking at Home series, and we couldn't be more excited to have you join us today. If you are new to the program and have not seen any of our previous episodes, but would like to, you can check them out on our website at downtowny.com/dinearound. My name is Ron Dijon, and for those of you who don't know, I am the events manager at the Downtown Alliance, which is the business improvement district for Lower Manhattan. We strive to help make downtown a cleaner, safer, and more vibrant place to work, live, and visit. One of the ways we do this is by providing support to local businesses. Dine Around Downtown Cooking at Home Edition has been part of our continuing efforts to provide such support, in this case to local restaurants and food security charities that have been impacted by COVID-19 in the past year. With restaurant restrictions having been lifted not too long ago, we hope that you have been enjoying dining around the neighborhood again and showing Lower Manhattan restaurants that you support them too. And also, just a side note, Restaurant Week begins on Monday the 19th, so start looking up those restaurants. Today, our featured restaurant has chosen God's Love We Deliver as their food charity. To learn more about this organization and how you can donate, visit glwd.org. For your convenience, I have provided that in the chat box for you as well, so you can go ahead and check them out. Okay. So just a couple of housekeeping things before we officially begin. I want to let you know that we are recording this cooking demo, and a link to the recording will be sent out to all of you and everyone who signed up for this episode. During this demo, if you have any questions for our guest chef or our host, please submit them by using the Q&A feature. For those of you on a desktop or laptop, this is usually located at the bottom of the screen. If you are using a mobile device, such as a phone, iPad, or tablet, you can tap your screen once, and depending on the device you're using, it will either be on the top right corner or the bottom of your screen. The chat box we will reserve for us to share some helpful links and other detailed information with you throughout the program. And one of the things we're going to share with you is the Post Your Plate contest. The Post Your Plate contest is a chance for you to win a 30-minute private virtual cooking class with tonight's guest chef by simply posting your plate on Instagram using hashtag #DineAroundAtHome and tagging @DowntownNYC. Check out the link in the chat box for more details, and don't forget to tag the restaurant, the chef, and our host as well. And speaking of our host, it is my pleasure to introduce the host with the most, award-winning chef and author, Rocco DiSpirito.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Ron. Thank you so much for the lovely introduction. I'm excited to be here for a 14th episode. I can't believe it's been 14. That has gone fast and slow for many different reasons, but without question, this has been some of my most favorite hours of the last 18 months. Thank you all for joining us in the past. Thank you all for joining us today. We have arguably our most exciting chef and restaurant joining us today. It's Blue Smoke Downtown. They're one of the first to bring modern barbecue back to New York City. You know, everyone's afraid of barbecue, and because barbecue's hard work. It requires a pit, smoke, real hard wood, hard to get permits in New York City, but they figured it out. They first opened in Union Square, live music, live jazz, an amazing inspired place. And their latest location is on Bessie, corner of River Terrace, right by the Brookfield Center. Lots going on. A wonderful area to visit. Lots of great restaurants. Of course, we've covered some of them in the past, but today we'll be focusing on Blue Smoke at 255 Bessie Street. The executive chef is Bret Lunsford. He is the Prince of Downtown Barbecue, the Sultan of South Street, the king of country cooking. I'll ask him to join us right now as I give you a little bit of his bio. Bret, how are you doing? Please join us as we go live in front of hundreds of people who've been fans of the Dine Around Downtown at Home for about 18 months. It's nice to see you here. Thanks for joining. Of course, you grew up in Atlanta, raised in Texas and Mississippi. So your barbecue creds are, you've got serious street cred when it comes to barbecue. What are you making for us today, buddy?
First, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it, Rocco. Thank you, Downtown Alliance. That is the nicest introduction I've ever had in my entire life. Sultan of Southern Cuisine. I might own that forever. That's on my new Instagram handle. Done. Handled. Thank you so much. I'm going to be making my granny, Irma Jean Stewart. She loved fried chicken, and this is something I used to make with her in her kitchen down in Diamond Head, Mississippi. So fried chicken and some creamy coleslaw today, which is on our menu, and it's one of our top sellers next to our brisket and baby back ribs.
And let me just say that if you are interested in eating the barbecue or the fried chicken or anything that Blue Smoke makes, you can order it on Caviar or on DoorDash right now and have it delivered. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to try myself at some point. So if you see me on my phone, Bret, just keep cooking. I'm ordering food. I understand that you grew up watching Julia Child on TV. You were inspired at an early age. You studied at the University of Southern Mississippi. Of course, as a chef, you need a Bachelor of Arts in Music. I understand that that's a prerequisite for all chefs. So obviously you're also probably a Broadway guy. You can sing, dance, act. Tell me a little bit about your background.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I was born in Atlanta, Georgia, raised outside of Dallas, Texas. My daddy is born and raised Texas, native Texan all the way. My mom was born in mid-city New Orleans and grew up there. So I have a lot of that influence of New Orleans and Texas and just the South all around. I went to the University of Southern Mississippi, got my Bachelor of Arts in Music, which, as you said, is very useful in the kitchen. My cooks can attest. I will, put on my speaker, maybe listen to a little Britney, Cardi B, a little Disney, who knows, Imagine Dragons, and just get to prepping.
But you were guys that make the New York City restaurant scene what it is. It's so interesting. It's so fun because of the people that come from theater or music and other worlds in the arts that make it such a rich and diverse tableau of professions and creative skill. So if you can't sing, you're going to have to sing something for us at some point. You know that, right?
Oh man, I don't know if I want that to happen right now. I'm not even warm.
Got to warm up your throat. I understand.
That's
You
right.
joined Union Square Hospitality in 2013 after graduating from the CIA. Is that right?
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah, I graduated
Very
at Culinary
cool.
Institute of America in 2013, and I started with Union Square Hospitality Group at Gramercy Tavern. I worked there for about 3 years.
Amazing place.
Yeah, absolutely. Love it. Mike Anthony, rock star, a legend in his own regard. Then I went with him and opened up Untitled, which is a restaurant at the Whitney American Museum. And then, I decided I was done with restaurants. I didn't want to cook anymore. I was going to figure out what I wanted to do. And so I was like, I'm going to serve tables and make some money. So I went to a little restaurant called Blue Smoke. Still in the company, served tables for about 6 months, and then got called back into the kitchen one way or another. Ended up being a sous chef at Blue Smoke later on. And then just been working and slinging barbecue ever since.
So you're triple threat on the stage and in the restaurant. I love it. And I understand that today you've picked God's Love We Deliver, a foundation I'm very familiar with. I go back 20 years with God's Love We Deliver, from the first gala hosted by Gail Green at Rockefeller Center in the ice skating rink to I think in 1997 or something like that. And they, of course, service the homebound, those who are too ill to care for themselves. And I'll let you tell us your story about it, but it's a wonderful organization, and we're happy to help you support it.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you so much for allowing us to have donations go to them. God's Love We Deliver is a fantastic organization based in New York, obviously. Really, really great. Providing meals to those who are afflicted with and living with HIV, AIDS, cancer, any type of disease that makes people unable to go get their own food. These are healthy meals, free of charge, delivered to New York residents. It's a fantastic program that our company at USHG has been a part of, and it's an honor today to cook for them and hopefully raise some money.
We always do. Our viewers have been very generous in the past, and I see no reason why they wouldn't continue to be. They come back over and over. They have lots of questions, so let's leave them some time for some Q&A at the end. I'll let you get to it. How do you make your Irma Jean's fried chicken?
Perfect. To start off, you got to have chicken. So we're going to break down one right now. This is a whole chicken. I mean, this is just a standard, any type of grocery store chicken you can think of. This is it right now. I like to break it down. The chicken is into, you can have quarters, or fried chicken is best broken down into eighths. So For the chicken, I take a knife and I slice right here between the breast and the thigh on each side. And you can see that releases the dark meat or the bottom half from the top. And then I kind of just give it a break, just break its back. Birds have brittle bones because they're, you know, light little birdies. And I put my knife right there on it and just right down. And then that separates the top white from the bottom dark. From there, you want to take off the thigh meat from it. And you can pop the bone kind of out. You can almost kind of butcher a chicken even without a knife sometimes. But if you break it, you can see these two bones coming out right here. And so what I do is then I want to get close to the backbone right here, put my knife right there and just kind of slide down to release that. So now you have a quarter of a thigh and a drumstick. And I'm gonna do the same thing for the other half right there. You can save those bones that I just tossed in the trash so eloquently and use that for stock. You can brown them, make a nice dark stock or a gravy for your chicken if you'd like. We're not doing that today, but there's so many uses for bones. You don't want to toss them all the time. Nothing better than a nice cup of broth sometimes. From here, we have the thigh and the drumstick, both parts of the dark meat of the chicken. You can kind of just see where it lives just by looking at the chicken itself, but you can also kind of give it a feel by wiggling the bone. You can feel right there is where it is. So I put my knife there and right down, and it comes off clean. So now we have 2 drumsticks and 2 thighs like that. So little feather, they are birds, that happens. We take the top part of the chicken, and I like to fold its little wings back right here because now I'm going to try to separate the rest of the white meat, the wing and the breast off. I take off this rib cage right here just to where it's a little bit of a cleaner presentation. So I pull its wings back like it's flying away, hold its rib cage right here. Be very, very careful with this. If you don't feel comfortable, take your time. I don't want anyone cutting their hands or their fingers and being mad at me or Rocco for this. So y'all be nice and be careful. So we're going to slide down with our knife and break off the ribs right on down. And then we're going to get down to right here. We're going to move around the chicken and right to the wing. And right here, this is where you really want to be careful. You're going to hit your little knife right here and you're going to hear a little crack, just like that. And that will release that. And now you have the other side as well. And you're going to break that off as well. Just kind of going around by the wings itself, the same as the other. And then pop its collarbone, just like that. Another trick, real quick. In the kitchen, if you don't want to get your hands dirty, having a pair of gloves, and most people probably have gloves lying around from COVID this year with, you know, making sure you're not touching everything. You can always put a glove on just to make sure you're not getting chicken parts anywhere.
Gloves are super helpful to help you not spread bacteria, but they're also great to keep your hands clean. When you butcher a chicken, your hands get very dirty and gunky, and you know there's a lot of sort of substances. So wear gloves just to protect your manicure, if anything. I know I always prefer how my hands look. Yeah, exactly, Chef.
Oh, you gotta forget that manicure. After those nails are done, you want to have that off, ready to go. Keep yourself looking pretty. So we have the chicken broke down like that, rib cage off. And so now you're left with the whole breast and its 2 little wings like that. So you're going to take your knife and go down the middle of the breastbone in the back and just cut it down. And you have 2 individual breasts with wings just like that. Now you can do this 2 different ways. Like most fried chicken places with the wing, they'll cut really high up and they'll leave a nice big breast. I kind of like to give fair treatment to the wing. And so those who get the wing get a little breast too. So most people cut it about here on the wing. I move down a little bit lower to give just a little bit more meat to the wing portion. And this way, the pieces are a lot more evenly sized. And so when they're evenly sized, they cook evenly as well. So I'm gonna do that to both. And that's that. Now we have the chicken broke down. Hands are rinsed. And then next we're gonna make the brine, the buttermilk marinade this goes in, because you want that to soak. That way, all the flavor is incorporated. You have a nice juicy, juicy chicken. So for the buttermilk marinade, very simple. You're just gonna take 2 cups of cold buttermilk. Buttermilk is really, really great as a marinade. It has certain enzymes that a lemon juice or any other type of citrus doesn't have. And so while that might dry out a bird, the buttermilk allows it to soften, become really, really tender, but then keep its juiciness intact as well. So you're not losing any of that when you're brining. From there, we're gonna whisk in a 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, and a 1/2 teaspoon kosher salt. That just goes in like that. And then just to finish it off, you want to have 3 tablespoons of your favorite cayenne-based hot sauce. We use Texas Pete here at Blue Smoke, but you can use whatever you like. If you like Crystal, Frank's is fine. Frank's to me is just pretty much tastes like buffalo sauce. So if you like that flavor, feel free. I hear it's good on everything. That's what they say. I'm a big Frank's guy myself, but here, Texas Pete. And then the chicken just goes in. You marinate that in. You want it to really cover it. I'll make sure it all gets really well incorporated. And just let it soak. I like to give it 3 to 4 hours minimum marinating time. It's best though if you can let it happen and let it sit overnight. Also, a side note, just going back with butchering a chicken, if you're not comfortable butchering a chicken, the store pretty much always has chicken broken down for you already. So you have that. You can have your broken down into 8s already to where you have your legs, your thighs, your wings, your breasts, all done. Or this works if you want all drumsticks, all whatever type of meat you like. It's great. We do this in the restaurant for a chicken breast, and you can do that for a chicken sandwich, chicken bites, chicken nuggets, chicken strips, really all the same marinade, and they kind of just use it for anything and everything. So when you're frying chicken, you got to have a dredge, which is what makes it nice and crispy. So to make that, also very simple, we have right here 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and there we're going to add a tablespoon and a half of kosher salt, 2 teaspoons of black pepper, a half teaspoon of cayenne, and then a 1/4 teaspoon paprika, as well as 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. So this is really where a lot of the flavor comes from as well. So you have the flavor hitting you from the buttermilk marinade, and so that flavor is all soaking into the chicken. But then you also have this dredge, which adds another little component. Now you can add little things in here too. If you want to add a little something, maybe curry powder would be nice in there. Some thyme might be nice. Thyme or oregano would be good. If you like dill, go for dill. I won't judge you.
Chef, I'd just like to preempt the questions about gluten-free. So if you're trying to make this fried chicken dish and you want to make it gluten-free, what would you replace the all-purpose flour with?
Yeah. So a lot of people are really reevaluating their diets these days. A lot of people have gluten intolerance. So if you're looking for something that's gluten-free, easy peas, the biggest thing I would do is probably flip it out for a cornstarch is a really good one because it's nice and crispy. Potato starch also works, rice flour. They also just have gluten-free, like an all-purpose blend in a lot of stores now anyways too. It's really becoming a lot easier and accessible for people with all sorts of dietary restrictions.
Cup for cup or corn flour by itself is great. There's plenty of options out there now. It's not like it was 10 years ago. There's a lot of solutions for the gluten-free problem.
There sure is.
Gluten-free preference.
Absolutely. So yeah, so now we have the chicken in one pan, and then we're gonna have our dredge in the other. And now this chicken here, the magic of TV as we have it. I have some pre-marinated and pre-brined chicken right now. So I'm gonna let these go. Because again, we want at least 3 to 3 hours on them before we fry them up. But I have some pieces right here as well that have been overnight for us. So we got a drumstick. We got our thigh. We got our breast piece. And we have our chicken wing in here as well. So you just want to put that in.
Minimum of 3 hours, maximum of overnight. Is that your preference?
That's fair. Yeah.
Minimum of 3. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. If you go over, you can start to over brine it and it'll kind of turn, but it's not unsafe to eat. It's just the flavor of the chicken, it kind of goes away. So I would suggest overnight max, but that's up to you. So I'm right now just kind of giving them a gentle toss. And here we want it to coat on everything. Some people will do a batter on their chicken first, like a dunk, and they kind of put it in like a very loose batter and then into a dredge or this flour coating. We go kind of let the buttermilk marinade provide that stickiness that we're looking for the dredge to stick onto it. So we just do that. And that's easy, just like that.
Chef, and during my travels, I remember being in the South, I think it was South Carolina. I remember seeing a very famous fried chicken place do that, where they had a very wet batter and then went into a flour mix. And what it looked like at the end before it went in the fryer was a very wet battered chicken. Is that a super Southern tradition? Is that something that you consider authentic?
One of the funniest things about the South is it's authentic depending where you are. The South is vast and several areas. And so if you eat fried chicken in one spot, it's gonna be completely different from another spot. It just depends where you go. But a battered fried chicken is very common. There's a place, I'm forgetting the name, there's a roadside place outside of Memphis that does the exact same thing. And they also do a battered chicken. What's that?
And what's the batter? What's in the batter that they use?
Yeah, so a lot of people, the batter is pretty much, you would kind of pretty much take this for the most part, like a dredge of some kind. Maybe add an egg if you really want to make it thicker. Use milk instead of buttermilk. Add a little maybe baking powder or baking soda, so you have a little rise in there. And then you just dunk and then put it in. I like a dunk and then dredge chicken to fry, but Granny, she would just do it like this. So this is the way we do it at Blue Smoke for now. I'm actually kind of having some like really internal struggles thinking about it lately about what do I want to do. You know, is Granny gonna come down and haunt me the rest of my life? You know, for
Granny's so proud
recipe.
of you. You know she's so proud of you. So
anything
you do will be fine.
Oh, Granny was my number one fan for sure.
I believe you.
All right, so we're gonna move this just a little bit. Be very careful with your fryers at home, okay? Make sure we're not overfilling. You want to make sure there's room in there. We got about 2 to 3, maybe almost 4 inches right now in here of wiggle room. That way, when you put food in, the volume increases, and then it is also going to bubble. So you want to be very, very careful. I'm going to check the temperature on it right now. If it's a little higher when it starts, that's okay, because we add this cold chicken. The temperature will drop slightly. You want to have it going at about a medium to medium high heat to bring it up, and then just check the temperature. So right now it's about 340 degrees. The cooking temperature I like is about 315 degrees, and we'll cook the chicken for 14 minutes at that temperature. So whenever you're putting chicken in, I always take it and give it just like a little clap, just once or twice, get that excess flour off, and then gently put it down.
Let's see that go in.
Yeah, come on in. And so then you just gently put it in.
That. Okay. Yes. And
so just be careful.
Now look at what happens. There's something. Yeah. The phenomenon of oil expansion is happening right before our eyes. The oil was only halfway up the side of the pot, but it's expanding. Obviously, as he's adding chicken, and because hot oil does take up a larger volume of space than cold oil.
That's right. So that's why it's so important at home, especially if you've got such a gas. This is an induction burner, so there's no flame, so we're not in danger here. But if you have an open flame, that can catch, and this is obviously very combustible. So just be very, very, very careful at your house. The recipe that we have calls for 8 pieces of chicken. I would still fry in 2 batches of 4. That way, we're just super careful, and nothing has a chance of burning or causing anything that the fire department would be unhappy with you for.
And also watch out if you have an old-fashioned coil electric stove. Those are the most dangerous. When a drop of oil falls on those, they burst in flame immediately. So be really careful about this part. Always have a fire suppression device near you. It's very important to take this part seriously.
Absolutely. So move very carefully. Scooch. If you're in your house, don't scooch. This is just because we're trying to get a good shot. So just be careful. So I set the timer. Timer's going for 14 minutes. We'll fry that. Trying to maintain the temperature, make sure we're around that 315 degree mark. In the meantime, we get the slaw going. So for the first thing for slaw, what you're going to want is the dressing itself. When you think about slaw, just think of it really as a salad. I know slaw is not really the most attractive word, but slaw, is pretty much a salad. So most people, cabbage, you can also do kale, any other vegetables. Daikon is really great. Radishes are awesome. Shaved carrots, just shaved vegetables, pretty much any type of vegetable, just mix it up, add a little dressing to it. It's a slaw for the most part. Major types of slaw, there's vinegar-based slaws and mayo-based. I kind of do a half and half. So we're going to start with mayo for a creamy slaw. So this is 1 cup of mayo into a bowl. We're then going to put in, let's see, a little sugar right here. This is a tablespoon and a half of sugar. Then we got some onion powder and celery salt. That is a teaspoon of celery salt, and then a teaspoon and a half of onion powder. We're gonna do the vinegar aspect. You can do whatever you like. Rice wine vinegar is really great. Right now we're gonna do apple cider vinegar. This here is 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. And then we're gonna add in some Dijon mustard, just a little kick. If you don't like Dijon, you can do regular yellow mustard's fine. A nice grainy mustard's also really good. We just use Dijon at Blue Smoke. So then this just gets incorporated together. Just mixing it all up.
So that's your sweet sour base.
That's right. So this is the dressing. And so this can really just go for anything and everything. You want to put this as a dip, you can do that. You can dip some vegetables right into it. You don't have to make a full salad or slaw if you don't want to. Just dip some carrot sticks in it and call it a day.
And Chef, do you agree that the slaw gets better and better as it ages? We're obviously not talking about weeks, but a few days.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think a slaw, a couple hours, it's almost like a fruit, like when you're macerating a fruit by adding a little sugar, a little salt, really letting the juices come out. It kind of lets it blend like a nice harmonious salad rather than, because that's kind of what you're looking for, is letting everything kind of come together in that. And so absolutely, it's kind of like a chili or anything, or a gumbo. Next day, typically better for sure. And then you need the vegetables for that. So you can do cabbage. And ours, we have cabbage, carrots, and poblano peppers. You can just do any type of basic. So with carrots, green cabbage, you can also do Napa cabbage, Savoy cabbage, anything you like. Like we said, it's just kind of whatever you really want. And then poblanos. These carrots, you would peel and then grate them on a grater. Cabbage is kind of quarter, half. You can cut out the core and then just finally chop. You can also grate as well if you'd like. And poblanos, you want to cut them pretty thin. They're a milder pepper. If you want to spice it up, you can add some jalapenos or another pepper in there. You may be not on the spicy side and are still afraid of poblanos. It's not your bag. That's also fine. A green bell pepper will give you that same vegetable pepper quality you're looking for without all the heat. A red bell pepper, a little sweeter as well. So you can just kind of really whatever you like, mix it in a bowl, put some dressing on it. A slaw. Luckily for us,
If I could just echo that sentiment, Chef, that this is really an opportunity to eat your favorite vegetables in a cold marinated salad preparation. Any vegetable that you like will probably work in that beautiful dressing that Chef just made. And by the way, there are some fruits that would work well in there too. This is a blank canvas moment. This is an opportunity for you to be creative. If you want to make slaw and you don't have cabbage in-house, but you have broccoli, you can still make slaw. Slaw is a wonderful summer side dish. It definitely counts as a vegetable. It counts as a condiment, in my opinion. So it's for me, it's an all-purpose, all-around utility player.
Absolutely. And it is a great way to get vegetables in. I was talking to my mom the other day on the phone, actually, and she was talking about, she's like, oh, I'm trying to get a vegetable. And she's like, I can't find the cream cheese, though, which is very Southern. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, well, we got to have the vegetable. I'm like, just grill up some squash or something. Why? She's like, well, I'm trying to make a green bean casserole. And I was like, everything in the South is cream cheese and a can of cream of mushroom soup. And that you got yourself a vegetable for us.
Packet of ranch spice, right?
Yeah, exactly. That sends it over the edge for sure.
I was actually working on a barbecue ranch dressing, and it's not bad. It's not bad. Barbecue and ranch together turns out not bad at all.
Yeah, a great combo. I love barbecue ranch. That's fantastic. I'm gonna try it. That sounds delicious, Rocco. So this is a pre-bought mix that you can find in the store just as easy of shredded cabbage, shredded carrots. Like we said, any vegetable you want, it works just fine. So we're gonna put that right in. And then I have some julienne poblanos that we did earlier. So those are gonna go in as well. And then let's see, bring that forward. Let's get a look in this bowl here. And then just gonna put the dressing on it like that. And then you just mix it up. It's really easy peasy.
Now, I know a lot of people mess around with weights and, trying to remove water and salt and curing their cabbage. None of that is necessary, as you can see.
It really isn't. You just kind of got to go.
Just slice it up, put it in the bowl.
That's right. Cooking is really not as difficult to me as people are intimidated by it. But once you kind of learn the basics of it, the technique, frying is frying no matter what you're frying. Sauteing is sauteing no matter what you're sauteing. Same with baking and roasting. It's all just technique. And then just figuring out what ingredients you like and making yourself something tasty for you, your friends, your family, for anyone you love, especially about yourself. Make sure you love yourself.
And so much of it is personal innovation, your style, your taste, your favorite things. So much of it is what you want to do at the moment. There are a lot of rules in cooking, but all of them are meant to be broken. Speaking of frying, Chef, could we see the chicken? I'd love to see what the progress has been so far.
Absolutely. So we're just about the halfway point. Yeah, no, we're about the halfway point right now.
All right.
And we'll raise it up right there. There's one thighs coming out. You can tell it's getting those crispies on the outside right now. Floating around in there, having a lovely little bath.
Salivary glands activated, Chef. Wow.
That's right. Perfect. So yeah, we're gonna let that. We have about 7 more minutes.
Look at how clean the oil is and how controlled the temperature is. Would you call this a low and slow fry versus a higher temp fry? Yeah,
exactly. I've seen a lot of different temperatures of frying the chicken, and this is definitely a little bit of a lower and slower situation, like you said. Yeah, we like to take it easy, and I don't want to shock the chicken too much and then make things too hot, because then to me it just squeezes out everything. It's a nice low and
very
slow.
Good point. Yes, very good point.
We're not confying it by any means, but which is a very, very, very low cooking in fat, but that's that.
Are you a fan of the 2 temp fry where you fry at 300 and then, you know, on the pickup or later on you fry at 350, 375, that kind of thing?
I am, and I'll tell you, the busier we get with this fried chicken, the more of a fan I am with that, thinking about frying out very large batches of low cooked and then on the pickup, getting it done. Because right now, that is one of the things we tell our guests when they come in is like, if you're going to order the fried chicken, this does take a minute to cook. It is all fried fresh to order from raw. We take pride in it. We don't want to take any steps that might cheat our end result here. We try to lead with our integrity and excellence as much as we can.
Thank you, Chef. I think of that as a master technique, actually. I don't know that I consider it a downgrade from fresh cooking. I think if you end up with a better product, it certainly works great for restaurants. And I think if you're cooking at home, you probably don't want to disappear into the kitchen for 30 minutes while you're frying your chicken. So if you want to get ahead, you could do it super slow. 300 degrees is a temp I like. What's a temp that you like, Chef, for pre-fry?
For pre-fry, no, I think you're right on. 300 is a nice pre-temp, something low, almost the same idea as a French fry. A lot is the best way to do that. You want to have it cooked through at the not super crispy. That low heat will make sure that heat is incorporated all throughout the product. You have nice even cooking, and then you let that rest. And then when you're ready to go, you really shock it by getting that hot fry, maybe even up to 400 degrees if you really wanted to. Get a nice crispy exterior. You can really get that crunch, and you'll have a nice succulent meat or potato on the inside, depending on what you're cooking.
I love it. By the way, you guys, in case you haven't noticed, these are 2 things that chefs geek out about and nerd out about all the time, 24/7, 365. French fries and fried chicken, and what temps and how to handle them. Do we soak? Do we marinate? Do we cook it from raw? It's something that occupies a lot of our time. So while I have a great chef at my disposal, I want to pull some information out of him. I'll let you continue, please. Yeah.
You know, we are rounding out actually right about here right now. We're coming back up. We're rocking at a good temp over here right now. We're steady around 300 degrees. I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit more and make sure that's good to go.
Can you show everyone that thermometer? That's a great thermometer to buy if you're looking for a thermometer to use for cooking at home.
Yeah. So this is when you can get them pretty much anywhere right now. We got some really great stores in New York, but it's a digital thermometer. This tooth right here, you want to make sure this is where it's reading on this point right here. So you don't need to go too far in, just this part right here. And then it gives you a read. You can switch it to Celsius or Fahrenheit, and you put it in, and then it just reads automatically. It climbs. It gives you exactly what you're looking for, to where you know exactly what you're doing and you're in control while you're cooking. Makes you feel safer, a little bit more confident while you're in the kitchen.
And we're talking about a gadget that's in the $20 range, not much more. So it's not break the budget expensive.
Super affordable. Yeah, these are one of the things. I have one on me all the time. You can get really old school as well, taking tip with a cake tester if you'd like, as well as checking dumbness of things. But that is for another class.
Tell everybody about that. I talk about it all the time. I'm tired of hearing myself talk about it. Teach them how to use a cake tester.
This is a cake tester, and it is not just for cakes. This is really great for checking meats of temperatures, doneness of potatoes, pretty much anything. This is great. I stick, and then you can kind of get a read for it. I always do it like right below the lip. You want to make sure you watch it. Obviously, we're not trying to go and stick food and like put things in our mouths. But you can do that. Also, the wrist is also a very sensitive part, and you're just getting the body temperature. And the more you do it, the more you understand what temperature is supposed to feel like and how that relates to the doneness of your food that you're cooking.
Yeah, that's a brilliant way to describe it. You're using your body, which is always 98.6 degrees, as a thermometer. So if the cake tester is much hotter than your body, you know that it's about 120 degrees, 110 degrees. If it's colder than your body, it's undercooked, basically.
Absolutely. That's right. And it does work for cakes as well, or biscuits or anything else. If you put it in, it pulls out and it's got a bunch of mess all over it. It's not cooked yet. You know that, and you put it back, give it a little more time, give it time to zhuzh up and get ready for the day.
Yeah, it's amazing. The key to great cooking, if you go to any 3-star Michelin restaurant or even 1-star, you'll see the little blue top of the cake tester in the left pocket of every chef. It is the most utility tool that all the great chefs are using and have been since forever. I learned it doing an internship at Le Bernardin in the early 1990s and have been using it ever since. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that you said the left pocket too, because it's so real. I don't know what chef committee got together and decided that's where it lives, but this is where it lives every time. I don't know why.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Thank you,
so
chef.
of course, thank you. So we got about 1 minute and 30 seconds left on the fried chicken. That's going to be going. We have ourselves over here a rack. You can also use obviously a plate with some paper towels or any type of napkin. You just want to soak off and let that residual grease drain out of your chicken as it's going. You don't really want just greasy mess all over your plate. Fried chicken shouldn't be a greasy mess. It should be crispy, crispy and tasty. The way, this kind of just made me think of something when I'm talking about draining it off and how fried food is not as gross as everyone always maybe makes it out to seem. Too much is definitely too much, but when we had the dunk, which we used to kind of do here at the restaurant before we switched it to my granny's recipe of fried chicken, we called it our redneck tempura batter.
I shouldn't laugh at that. I'm not from the South. I'm not sure I'm allowed.
No, you're allowed. I give you permission today. Green card. You're good to go. So yeah, so we call it the redneck tempura, but battering and frying. It's definitely not as classy and as technique and delicate as a traditional Japanese style tempura frying, but we laugh at it. We thought it was a cute little thing, to say the least. So we are
speaking of frying, chef, lots of questions about oil and what kind of oil to use and the brand of the thermometer. Letty wants to know what the brand of the thermometer is. Do you happen to have it handy?
I think it says on here. This says Lava Tool Javelin. I'm not sure if we can get
Lava
that up there.
Tool Javelin. Okay, yes, hold it up. Great. I'm sure it's on Amazon. You can probably get 3 for $20. Thank you, Letty. Lois Burke said, it's like when your mom kisses you on the forehead to see if you have a fever, and she's correct. That's exactly what it's like.
100%, yes.
Yes, what a great analogy, Lois. Robert Rips wants to know, if you only deep fry occasionally, is there any way to avoid using that oil once and throwing it all away? Yes, don't throw it away. Strain it, filter it, put it in the fridge, use it again. You can use it many, many times. Most oils don't have a one-time use only rule.
That's right.
Chef, you're probably going to turn that into frying oil right after we're done with the demo, but I hope you agree that you can use frying oil more than once.
Oh, you sure can. You should use your oil more than once. You can use it. You could save it. We used to keep oil in a type of like Folgers can that we would keep above our stove and use that for frying eggs in the morning or anything else. Yeah, you can keep that oil, exactly, strain it out, keep it clean, but you can hold on to it, and that's not something you're gonna want to discard right away. You can also, there's shallow methods of frying as well.
That's actually a question I'm getting to, Chef. Sarah Green wants to know, they brought several whole chickens. They have one left that's in the freezer, wasn't frozen when she bought it. Is there any adjustments need to be made when preparing other than thawing the chicken? I say, not really. What do you say, Chef?
No, I agree. No, I think you're perfectly fine. I think that's exactly right. You can just let it thaw out and let it do its thing, and it will. That's the cool thing about freezing, and it keeps it. And the fried chicken, you're going to have it super delicious, and it's going to love it. You're not going to be risking any flavor by using a frozen chicken.
Gilletta Brandt wants to know if you have, she sees chefs use salt liberally. If you're on a low sodium or no sodium diet, what can you do? Obviously, Gilletta, you have to get rid of the salt in your diet. That's a hard and fast rule for you. There are other seasonings that can add lots of flavor, like sodium. The salt substitutes are not terrible, by the way. And for me, I think, salt, lemon juice, lime juice, herbs, black pepper, those are all great ways to add a lot of flavor. What do you think, Chef?
I agree. One of my favorite things to do when grilling any food, if you don't want to do salt, don't have to do it, but a little pepper, exactly, olive oil, take it out the grill, fresh squeezed lemon juice, a little bit of lemon zest, maybe some chili flake, really nice olive oil, really, you'll get all the flavor you need and you won't be missing it. And you can also maybe substitute, make a sauce with maybe like a light sodium soy sauce or something else like that. or what's the I'm drawing a blank right now. What's the soy sauce alternative people use a lot? It's like liquid aminos.
Tamari is gluten-free. Coconut aminos is about half sodium.
That's the one.
I love coconut aminos. I don't use soy sauce anymore. I use coconut aminos exclusively. Allison Halvax wants to know, how do you make your own buttermilk? Either replace it or make it yourself. So I'll take part one. If you want to make your own buttermilk, grab some heavy cream and make butter, and then you'll have buttermilk left over. What say you, Chef?
That's right. No, that's the best way to do it, is just use that. Another way a lot of people can do, just adding a little bit of acidity to it, either with a lemon juice or a vinegar, but I would use either a milk or a cream or a half and half, but just kind of balancing out those flavors for what you're looking for if you don't have buttermilk readily available to you.
All right, we have some chicken fried, ready to go.
That's it.
What's the internal temperature in there? I think a lot of people are curious at what the internal temperature is for perfectly done fried chicken.
So when your perfectly done fried chicken is done, what we're looking for is for it to reach about, you want to at least hit 165. This is just tipping at past 175 right now. So this is just past that point. 165 is the FDA recommended, and I would suggest as well, for fried chicken. You don't want to be eating raw chicken, no salmonella here. So as long as your chicken is at 165 degrees Fahrenheit, you're good to go, safe. You can just gobble it on up.
And I'm going to be right over to do that. I'm not even joking. It looks so good. All the crispy, crunchy nooks and crannies that one hopes for are there in abundance. And, I think the batter method certainly sounds promising, but not needed, as proven by your chicken today.
Thank you. Yeah, it is one of those things. Like there's a technique for everybody. And that's one of the things about cooking Southern food or barbecue, is one thing I have to learn is I will always be second best to anybody and everybody, because no matter how well I make this brisket, it will never be as good as my Uncle Roberto's. My backyard chicken will never be as good as Daddy's. My fried chicken will never be as good as Granny's. But the best we can do is try to put up a plate that inspires memories of nostalgia, and maybe like a simpler time with family and friends, just good, happy memories for people to gather around a table and just have some good food.
And I just want to remind you that you can buy this chicken either on Caviar or DoorDash. You can go into the restaurant, Blue Smoke at 255 Vesey Street. It's on the menu. Chef is in the house right now. You can experience this at home or in person. When we started this series, that was impossible to do. Happy to report that has changed. Chef Kitty Murphy wants to know, can this be cooked in an air fryer?
I don't see why not. Absolutely. I don't have an air fryer myself. I know a lot of my friends do. I haven't really had a chance to test it, but I guarantee the answer is yes to that. From what I understand, the way air fryers work, I would say give it a shot. I guarantee there are recipes out there flying around the internet already for it. So I would say, yeah, hit it up and let me know. Yeah, let me know how it works.
All right, now can we watch you eat this fried chicken?
Yeah,
it's the closest we can get to eating it ourselves.
Yeah,
it looks so beautiful. Yo, get in there, get close. Let's see what's going on here.
So my favorite piece is the thigh. So I'm gonna go for that first. I'm gonna get some of that skin. I love it. So yeah, nice, cooked all the way through, tender, crispy.
You just did the equivalent of breaking open an Oreo and scraping out. You can't do that. You gotta eat it all together.
I know, exactly. Look, I'm kind of that person. Yeah, I love it. I'm gonna get in there, get the thigh meat. You can see like cooked all the way through, really, really juicy. You can see those juices still floating around inside. Hot, steamy.
Oh, that looks great. Really looks great. Now, if you were to do this ahead, if you had a big event or some family over, could you keep it hot? Near an oven or in a low oven on a tray, and would it hold up pretty well?
Absolutely. I would also kind of suggest what we did a little earlier, which is cooking it low first, and then popping it, finishing in the oven, or taking it out just before it's done, and then finishing it by re-crisping it in the oven. As long as it hits that 165 mark, you're good to go. Also, cold fried chicken is never a bad thing either. I eat it in the fridge the next day.
Yes. Oh.
Picnic fried chicken, also room temp chicken. That's every family reunion I've ever been to. Yeah, there's really, it's fried chicken. There's really no wrong way to eat it.
Now, do you agree that a little mayo with cold fried chicken is absolute heaven?
Anything with mayo is absolutely fine.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, but I know I love a little mayo, ketchup, and hot sauce. I get that together real quick and just.
Oh, that's such a great
okay.
combo. I was on a keto diet recently, and I've written some keto books, and I was using mayo a lot, and I realized I didn't really care about the diet. I really just wanted an excuse to eat more mayo. I found myself dipping vegetables in it, fruit, everything. Everything is better with mayo. EBW
Truly.
wants to know if there's a baking option, Chef. I think we covered it. If you were to bake it from start to finish, how would you alter the recipe?
I would just keep it. I would probably bake it around 300, maybe 350 maximum. You just want to watch, and you maybe need to test it first. You would just want to check, make sure the outside is not getting too overdone before the inside is done. Again, the main thing you want to watch is make sure that internal temperature of your chicken reaches 165 degrees Fahrenheit.
Awesome. And Chef, can you do me a favor and just cut through the breast? And if we can get a close-up of that, it would be so awesome. Do like super QVC salt-based style.
Absolutely.
Here. Oh, look at that.
Just
look at the way the batter sticks to it.
This juice is coming
out. One of the biggest problem people have with fried chicken is the batter falls off, but you can see here it's really stuck to the chicken.
Absolutely. That's part of the buttermilk.
Hundreds of mouths are watering right now.
I hope so. Absolutely. It's like dripping all over the cutting board. Yeah. But that's the magic of buttermilk. That's what it does. It really keeps it juicy and tender, breaks it down, but still allows it to be that nice chicken that you're looking for without changing the flavor too much on you.
Chef Lindsay John wants to know, what do you use if you don't have a fryer? And I just say, look back at this demo. He didn't use a fryer. He used what's called a rondeau or a sauce pot, and he turned it into a fryer. Now you can buy a tabletop fryer, of course, if you want to, but you really don't need it. A pot was the original fryer.
That's right. Absolutely.
This is my fryer, by the way.
That works perfectly.
It's a 20-year-old pot called Le Creuset and works great.
And that pot will last you a lifetime, without a doubt. I still have my granny's cast iron skillet that you can also use frying chicken. You want to do a shallow fry in it. It goes about halfway, just turn it halfway through. Again, just make sure it's nice and low, about 300 degrees to 350, and make sure then it's at 165 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's Vicky NYC's question. Can this recipe be shallow fried? Hate to waste all that oil.
No,
yeah, Chef just said it, yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt, shallow frying works classic way. One of the best examples that I love is from the movie The Help, Octavia Spencer. It's my favorite one. She say, "Minnie don't burn no chicken." Minnie is, that's one of my icons in my life. It's Minnie from The Help.
She has a few specialties. Some we should stay away from. Some look really good. Yeah. Allison said she learned the hot versus cold oil lesson the hard way on Thanksgiving Day. Allison, I hope Thanksgiving worked out for you. But yeah, hot oil makes a big difference. When we say low and slow, we don't mean cold and slow. We mean low temp, which is usually in the 275 to 325 range.
That's right.
Ava Heineman wants to recommend nut milks if you're on a dairy-free diet or keeping kosher or just don't want to have dairy for some reason. Nut milks work great. Soy milk works great. Coconut milk would probably add a ton of flavor. I would say just replace the acidity in the buttermilk with some lemon juice or white vinegar so that you can get the chemical effect of the acidity.
Absolutely.
A Zoom user says, this is about my keto comfort diet. Fried chicken is a favorite of mine. And since it's my birthday today, I plan on making this. Terrific. I hope you make it exactly the way Chef Bret made it.
Happy birthday.
Substitution so he can not kick himself out of ketosis. So I would use a little bit of corn flour, not a lot. Corn flour has slightly less carbs. I'm talking about whole, either fine cornmeal or corn flour versus AP flour, or no flour at all. And I know Bret is thinking I'm not going to be, that's it, we're not friends anymore. But if you can fry chicken without a flour coating and it'll still taste amazing. Back me up here, Chef.
You absolutely can. That's what chicken wings are. I mean, I'm not mad at it. We do our chicken wings, we smoke it. Also, smoking chicken, you probably don't want smoke in your house, but smoked chicken is also fantastic, obviously. But yeah, you can 100% just fry chicken without. Just, be careful, but enjoy it. It's delicious.
Yeah, just omit the flour, fry the chicken. Even more important to go low and slow at the beginning and then a hot pickup or like a 300, 350, 360 dual temp situation. The New York Institute of Fine Arts wants to know, can you substitute the slaw for potatoes and use the same ingredients? That sounds like you go, chef. I think yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. Like, I mean, that's pretty much what potato salad is for the most part too. Is a mayo-based something. You can add some diced eggs in there, some celery, maybe some different peppers. If you want to add raisins,
yes.
which I know a lot of people get weird about raisins and things, but
wow,
you know,
raisins,
why not?
Okay.
But yeah, a lot of people. There have been many battles fought over raisins in different types of potato salads or chicken salads and slaws.
And meatballs
yeah,
too,
add
chef.
want.
Meatballs, right? Yeah.
You know,
a lot of debate about raisins and meatballs.
Wait,
chef,
is that really a
Megan
thing?
wants to. Yes. And so in Sicily, meatballs are made with pine nuts and raisins routinely, and in the rest of Italy, usually raisins are not included in the meatball recipe. So there's a lot of debate. They both taste great. Yeah.
I'm ashamed of myself. My grandpa is from Palermo, Sicily originally. I'm ashamed that I didn't know this.
Oh, so you're from the South in 2 continents. I love that.
That's right.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm Southern everywhere. That's right.
Chef Megan wants to know, how long can you keep the chicken marinade if you want to make it a few more days later?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the marinade, just take a look on the carton that the buttermilk is from and just keep your eye on that. And that's where I would go by. That's the thing that will spoil first.
And Chef Ann Bryce wants to know why you're using metal bowls, rule for using metal versus glass.
It's what we use in the restaurant primarily, but you can use whatever you want as long as it's non-reactive. Most things these days are non-reactive, so you're probably fine. But you just don't want the flavors to impact your food at the end of the day. So I wouldn't suggest like a cast iron or any type of iron to mix it in, or copper, but glass is fine, plastic's fine, ceramic's fine, metal bowls is perfectly fine.
Yeah, you want to avoid aluminum and cast iron for the marinade part, but you know, we use metal bowls for a very important reason. The glass breaks, and these bowls are tempered glass, and when they break, they shatter into thousands of tiny little pieces and fragments, and often you can't find all of them. So you basically, you're going to ruin whatever you're cooking or make it very dangerous to eat whatever you're cooking. So it's really a no-win situation. So when I counsel people on what to buy for cooking at home, I always say buy what we buy in professional kitchens, and stainless steel. Everything is what we use in professional kitchens because it's the safest, it's the least reactive. It also lasts forever, and there's no way to break it. I've got hotel pans from, you know, pre-war hotel pans that I'm still using. So,
oh yeah.
Chef Lorette Zana Hamilton wants to know what you do with the oil afterwards. We covered it, but let's talk about it again.
Yeah, so oil, you want to slow it down. You know, take the heat off. Make sure it comes down to room temperature. You don't want to be messing with hot oil. Let it cool down. After it's cooled down, then you can pass it through a strainer if you have it. Be very careful with that as well. You just want to get all the solid bits out. The finer you have, the more clean your oil is going to be, and the more you can use it again next time.
And if you don't have a strainer, coffee filter works great.
Yep.
A towel,
cheesecloth,
a tea towel works. Cheesecloth, yeah. A new pair of socks would work.
Yeah.
Type of oil, chef. Type of oil. We have a question about type of oil. Sure. I like sunflower oil. What are you using, chef?
We use canola here in the restaurant.
There you go.
Very, very mild flavored. Not going to impact too much. You can use whatever you want. A lot of people like, you know, if you want to get real South shortening, just pure animal fat works really well. Some good old Crisco is also good. Peanut oil, delicious, but I know a lot of allergies to that. So, you know, buyer beware. But yeah, canola oil is really great. Grapeseed oil also is very, very, has a really nice high smoke point, and it's also mild in flavor as well.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Chef, someone wants to know what gas mark, so I guess what temperature on the dial if you were cooking over gas versus versus electric.
Yeah, so I would just want to keep it at like a medium to medium high to get it going, and then keeping it at a medium while you're cooking it. Again, like the best thing to have is some type of thermometer. The one we showed you, which again, that brand is Javelin, not sponsored, is a great thermometer to have. Just make sure you're maintaining that temperature that we do is at 315 to 320 degrees Fahrenheit. But it always just depends on the level of what your own kitchen is like at home.
Chef, a few more questions. LaShwanda Gordon wants to know, air fryer okay? We said yes, absolutely. Air fryer is basically a tabletop convection oven. It
Yeah,
moves around hot air, so it works. It works well. it's a different result than a deep fried or shallow fried chicken, but it definitely does the job. What do you say, Chef?
It sure will. Like I said, I never haven't had a chance to use an air fryer yet, but what I've seen, exactly, that's right. It's pretty much just a tabletop convection oven for your house or apartment. Yeah, that you can use. No, to heat up the entire thing. So it works great.
And one more question, Chef LaShanta Harris says she has celery seed, not celery salt. Does she use the same amount?
I would be careful with that. If you have a grinder, I would also grind up that celery seed first, and then you can incorporate a little bit of salt. The ratio is about equal parts. I would just be careful with, make sure you're just tasting. You don't want to make it too salty. So just give yourself a taste. And if you're happy with the way it goes, I'd say go for it. I support you.
So I think that's all the time we have for questions. But Chef, I want to thank you very much for, first of all, supporting God's Love We Deliver. Very, very important charitable foundation in New York City. I think is expanded nationally. I want to remind you guys that you can visit Blue Smoke now. You can walk in, you can sit down, you can order the fried chicken that we just demonstrated for you. Everything is open. New York is back in action. And sir, I want you to be part of the solution. Please go out there and support the restaurants, including the very first one that we did 18 months ago. Go back and support all those people. They didn't have the benefit of being fully open at the time. Remember, we started this over a year ago. So go back and look up those restaurants and show them a little bit of love as well. Obviously, they're all also selling on either DoorDash or Seamless. So if you want to donate to God's Love We Deliver, glwd.org to donate to them directly. Blue Smoke, once again, 255 Vesey Street. Bret is the chef. Bret Lunsford is the chef from the South, making inspired Southern cooking with, as they describe it, with a New York twist or with a New York flair. And for me, that just adds a lot of loving touches to anything that you're cooking when you add a New York flair. I also want to thank you for being here for all 14 of these episodes. We want to remind you that there's a post the plate competition, just like there has been for all of our demonstrations. You have an opportunity to win a 30-minute virtual cooking class with Chef Bret Lunsford of Blue Smoke. Whip up your best version, your favorite version of the demoed recipe, post it on Instagram. Make sure you tag Dine Around at Home and Downtown NYC, and tag me and Chef Bret as well, so we can see what's going on. We will pick a winner, and that winner will get to spend 30 minutes with Chef Bret virtually and learn how to cook this recipe or anything you want. I'm sure Chef seems pretty flexible. And I also want to remind you that this Dine Around at Home was designed to replace our in-person gala. Now, while the gala is coming back at some point in the future, we do have something coming up in September. So stay tuned. Make sure you keep checking the website. We have something exciting coming in September. I think you're going to like it a lot. It's going to be a face-to-face event. I can't say any more about it, by the way, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Don't forget to post the plate. And I just want to say personally, thank you very much for being here for all these months, for all 14 episodes. It's really meant a lot to me. It's one of the things I've looked forward to most during the lockdown and post-lockdown. Working with Shelly, Ron, and Craig, and all the chefs on these events has been, it felt like family. It's given me purpose. It's given me something to look forward to. And it was just a bright spot in a period where things weren't always so feeling so great. So I appreciate them and you guys, and we'll get to all your Q&A. There's about 30 unanswered questions. Chef Bret will answer all of them. We're going to email them as we usually do. Stay tuned for more programming, more posts. Follow us on IG, follow me on IG, follow Bret on IG, and hopefully we'll see you in person soon. Thanks so much for being here. All my love to you guys.